Morning, guys. Tom from Seriously Fast Media here, and I want to talk to you today about the pretty stellar weekend at Bristol. So obviously you had Chandler Smith went out and grabbed himself his first ever career Truck Series victory at Bristol, and it was a pretty clutch moment because if he didn't win, he was not transferring on, and that's exactly what they were going for with this playoff format, with the elimination format. Really cool to see that happen. Always love to see the young guys get their first wins, and that means a lot to a lot of fans, whether it be a KBM truck, whether it be a GMS truck, whether it have been anybody else. I was really impressed with Carson Hocevar with the calls that they were making on that team, of getting that team up there, getting it competitive, and trying to run for that win. I mean, they held off some trucks with some older tires, and it was very impressive to see. Good to see that fellow Michigan boy there compete and be as competitive as he was. So going into the Xfinity race, I would arguably say that was probably the best finish I have ever seen in NASCAR. Far surpassing, in my opinion, obviously everybody's a little different, but far surpassing the Kurt Busch, Ricky Craven finish at Darlington a few, almost 20 years ago. Jeez. 15 years ago, a very long time, almost 2 decades ago. But nonetheless, with that being said, still a spectacular finish, beating and banging. And Cindric was, I mean, you could tell he wasn't too thrilled, but he also wasn't like crying. He wasn't throwing a temper tantrum, wasn't throwing a fit. Hey, they're racing. Congratulations to AJ Allmendinger for not only winning that race, but winning the regular season championship there. That's going to score him some extra playoff points for moving on into the remainder of the playoffs for the Xfinity Series. Sorry, I didn't realize the radio was still kind of ticking. You guys might not have been able to hear that. I could. It was a little awkward, a little weird. AJ had to go and win that race. Obviously, if he didn't win that race at that position, he would not have won the regular season championship. And he went and did what he needed to do. And you know what? Wins outside of Labonte, who had a crashed race car in victory lane. We've never seen a winner interview from the infield care center, so that was a little different. He was definitely happy, definitely excited. I mean, he went out and he clutched the moment. So did Chandler Smith. I mean, so for 2 clutch moments to occur in the same weekend, it was pretty astonishing, and that kind of set the tone for the Cup Series race at Bristol as well. Before I get into the Cup Series race, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, get those notifications rolling. I'm going to do some more videos. I've been slacking very clearly. A lot of people have been saying it. So with that being said, I am going to get some new content up. It's been almost a month. I checked my YouTube studio app on the computer, and it's been almost a month since I've posted anything, so I'm sorry about that. On to that Cup Series race. I mean, a lot of blocking, a lot of great racing throughout the entire racetrack, and I was so thankful that they showed, especially towards the end there, 3 battles at once, 3 key important battles for that race, and going into the playoffs at the same time. Awesome. Huge shout out for NBC Sports for showing what we want to see. We don't want to just watch one battle. We want to see what's going on throughout the whole racetrack. And all race long, you had great battles. You also had Eric Almirola, who had a huge issue very early in that race. Ended up having a oil hose failure and spewed smoke all over. They were black flagged, and I'll be completely honest, I thought they were done and over with. I posted on Twitter, I said, hey, he's out, he's done, he's not going to make it. There's no way he's going to make it. And you know what? That team kind of proved me wrong towards the end of that race. They just, at the very end when they needed just a little more speed, they couldn't accomplish it. And I turned out to be wrong anyway. I turned out to be right anyway. You know, you hate to see it for a team like that, a smaller team like that. One of those guys, not a smaller team, one of those guys who you don't always see in the playoffs. He's never, you know, he's not getting to those points where he is a championship or title contender, but he did go out and score that win. They had that whole race team. SHR has had a not so stellar season, and you'd like to see him move a little further on. But let's move on. Let's go to what undoubtedly has become the most talked about. Excuse me, I just ate way too fast before I came out here to do this video. I ate my lunch way too fast, I got hiccups. Let's talk about what is undoubtedly the story of the weekend, and that is the battle between Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick for the lead there, coming in those closing laps. Everybody has said, and I kind of agree, that Elliott was faster. Elliott was a faster car. Oh, well, Kevin Harvick couldn't pass him if he didn't have those lap cars. Okay, that's how it works. Yeah, great. All right, for those of you guys who don't know, maybe you haven't seen too many of my videos, I'm not a Kevin Harvick fan. I'm not a Chase Elliott fan. I don't root for one versus the other, and I was rooting for neither of them. My driver that I was rooting for ended up winning the race. But you had a battle between the two, and Chase, he lost the lead. He couldn't get through the lapped cars quite as efficiently as Harvick did, and Harvick ended up getting the pass. And Chase obviously went back for the lead. That's his job. That's Kevin's job. That's his job. That's Larson's job. That's Bowman's job. They're out there to go win races. They're out there to get the absolute best finish they possibly can and move on to the next round. That's their job, to win races, to be competitive. So going down that straightaway, you had Harvick, who had the lead. He was side by side with the 52 car, and Elliott was pinned behind the lap down car. Going into the corner, you saw Harvick kind of come down towards the bottom. He didn't get the bottom the way he wanted to, the way he could have. If he did, there wouldn't have been a problem, and he probably would have, let's be honest, maybe lost the lead right there. Maybe not, depending on exactly how traffic ended up hitting him. But Chase, you could see the 52 car kind of wiggle. Chase was behind him and kind of shoved his way in there and make it 3 wide. Chase went in the middle of 3 wide into the corner at Bristol. The 4 car clearly was a little tight, whether it was from the 9 car getting to him, whether it was just him. And they both kind of came up the track. They made a little contact. Very little contact. There's no reason that tire should have went down. It's ridiculous. I can't wait for these next-gen cars. Hopefully that crap gets eliminated, because there's no reason that tire should have went down with so little contact. I mean, that's probably not even that hard. Cut the tire down on the 9. 9 went in, pit, changed 4 tires. Obviously, we all know that. We all saw that. People are saying, oh, it's Harvick's fault. He came up and just bashed him because he knew he couldn't. Shut up. Just shut up. No, absolutely not. No. Is it something Harvick might do to try and win a race? He's been desperate. He hasn't won a race all year. Yeah, maybe. But no, that's not what I saw. That's not what the announcers saw. I listened to XM radio all day long. No one saw that. That's not how it worked. But Elliott goes into pits, changed 4 tires. He had left side down. They changed 4. I was really impressed. I thought they were just going to go for lefts, send him back out there, but they didn't. They gave him the best chance he possibly could have. His lap's down. I mean, he's done. He's out. Try and pick up something. They put him in 4 tires. He comes out, and what does he do? He door slams the leader. Not hard. Okay, great. That was perfect. Beautiful. That's a perfectly respectable-ish response to what he thought happened in his opinion. No problem. 4 tires. We saw what 2 tires could do, at Bristol with fresh tires. 4 tires, he should have been half a lap ahead within 5 laps. What did he do? He stayed back, and what kind of, in my opinion, and obviously you guys have different opinions, whatever you think happened, leave it in the comment section below. In my opinion, what it looked like to me was he held back. He sandbagged the shit out of his race car, and he held back, and he held up Kevin Harvick. Everybody, oh, well, no, he just helped his teammate. No, he sandbagged Kevin Harvick, and it just so happened to help his teammate. Harvick ended up finishing second, and he, obviously, for obvious reasons, was not very happy. He was fairly close to a win, and driver etiquette should have been, okay, here's your door slam. I wasn't happy with you. Drive off. Let the leaders race. Let them race. Let them race for the win. That's my opinion on driver etiquette. And, obviously different drivers have different opinions, and different fans have different opinions. But instead, he sandbagged to hold up Harvick. kept taking his line, kept moving. He knew what he was doing. He wasn't stupid. He held him up. And that was his payback. Okay, great. But, you know, even towards the end there, Harvick tried to make a little move, tried to give the 5 a little shove into the corner, push him up the corner, and almost wrecked the 5, and probably both of them. But the 5 held that great line, saved the race car, moved on, and eventually won the race. At the end, you got them both down on pit road at the same time in the entry. Elliott was clearly not happy. Elliott moved up. He pulled up in front of Kevin, ended up stopping. Kevin wasn't happy, gave him a little nudge in the back bumper on pit road. And of course, they got out of the cars and came together. They had an argument. They had a very heated discussion. You know, you had Harvick, who said, "I don't care who he is." Not happy. Called it a chicken shit move, in my opinion. Holding him up and interfering with a race for the lead, that was a chicken shit move. I do agree with that. And then Chase Elliott, oh, well, he's done it to me before. I'm going to stand up for myself. Good. You absolutely should stand up for yourself. Don't stand up for yourself, you end up getting pushed around and beat around, and that happens to you once a week. Now, obviously, a lot of people threw temper tantrums, a lot of people threw fits. Oh, well, Harvick didn't take his helmet off, and Chase did. Oh, that's how you know which one's the tough guy. No, Harvick's a veteran. He ain't going to fight him. If he was going to fight him, trust me, he would have walked over there and shoved him instead of having a conversation. If you watch confrontations with Harvick over the years, he doesn't really take his helmet off. He goes over, has a heated conversation, he's done. It's plain and simple. Just stop, guys. All these Chase Elliott fans, a lot of you guys are toxic. I mean, I'm friends with some of you. I met a ton of you at every racetrack I go to. Some of you guys are great people, great NASCAR fans, but some of you guys are just, calm down. Goose blah blah. Relax. Anger management. Obviously, Chase wasn't happy. He felt like Harvick took his win away from him. Great. Perfectly reasonable. Harvick obviously wasn't happy. Felt like Chase took the win away from him. Perfect. Perfectly acceptable. Reasonable response. And of course, they butted heads. They kind of pushed, some pushing, some pulling, you know, and it didn't heat off. Like, honestly, I kind of thought was going to. Girlfriend's sitting right next to me. She doesn't really watch NASCAR. She's like, oh my gosh, they're going to fight. I'm glad they didn't. Plain and simple. I said I wish Harvick would have smacked his, but you know, in the heat of the moment, I didn't like what Chase did. I thought what Chase did was a chicken shit move. And then I thought what Harvick did, bumping him on pit road, was kind of a chicken shit move too. Then they will go into the garage area and start having a conversation, and everybody's talking about Jordan Bianchi. Jordan Bianchi's like out there. He's there at the racetrack nearly every single week. It's his job. Report. Get the info, get the videos, get the story, and report it. And a lot of people, all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. I'm on all of them. I see it all. Saying, oh, Jordan shouldn't have been there. Oh, the media shouldn't have been there. Let them converse. Let them have their conversation. Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. And then you obviously saw them proceed to go into Chase Elliott's hauler. And that was Harvick. He just said, we're going to go in your hauler. And he opened the hauler door. Not Chase. But it was funny. Here's why I'm on the other side of that issue, though. Jordan Bianchi's job is to get the news. It's to do the reporting. And it's to go out and make sure you have that story so we can have these conversations now. I saw the video. It was great. It's his job to do it. You can't be mad at him. You're in a public setting. If you want the FBI's witness protection program, you should get out of NASCAR and go race go-karts at your local go-kart track, because no one's going to care what you have to say. So we can't have that. My whole takeaway from this weekend, though, now that we're kind of off those topics there, the whole takeaway for the weekend is whatever dumbass thinks Bristol should be covered in dirt again, just absolutely not. There's no reason Bristol should be covered in dirt. There's no reason Cup Series should be running on dirt at all, in my opinion. You know, we've advanced, we've moved on. Maybe a gimmick race here or there, but that's about it. Just spectacular racing. Old school Bristol, everybody keeps referring to. And, you know, I kind of do agree to an extent. Maybe a dirt race should be on the Cup Track Series schedule. I don't feel that way, but you're more than welcome to. Everybody likes something different. But if you're going to run a track on dirt, it should be a dirt track. And this weekend just shows. Obviously, we're not going to have repeats every time from now until eternity that we go to Bristol. We're not going to have these fantastic races like this. It's just not going to be that way. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I kind of rambled on a little bit, but that's my opinion, not yours. Leave yours in the comments below. Thanks for